What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to Knights of Pen and Paper. Alright, so we're going to continue with the story now by traveling back to Shipwreck Cove from Sunset Castle, because I guess the last thing we did at Sunset Castle was uncurse the king, story-wise. Anyway. Alright, travel to Shipwreck Cove. I guess we're reporting to them what happened with the king. Anyway, we're about to find out. Hey, what's that steam over the horizon? Note how they capitalized the S in steam? But anyway. That, my friend, is where everyone wants to go. How are we going there? With our help. Trust us. Now that our building is done, you may just travel there and finish your campaign. Awesome. Quest done. Steam Island available? What? Yeah, I think maybe you'll see why. I mean, in terms of the name of a place, Steam Island, you know, being capitalized makes sense, but the S in Steam being capitalized before is going to make a little more sense here in a bit, I think. All aboard the success boat! And here we are, on Steam Island. As you arrive, in the middle of all that steaming, a figure comes out. Yeah. Another one of those names where I'm pretty sure they just took the initials and swapped them. Anyway. Welcome to Steam, adventurers. I don't even know what his voice sounds like in order to try and imitate it, so whatever. This is a direct connection to the future. This wasn't supposed to exist in the pen and paper realm. Please, listen to it carefully. I promise to help you as long as you retrieve my magical crowbar. It's been missing for so long, and I can't finish my project without it. It'll be a pleasure. Looks like he will help us today, but he will have all our money someday. Yeah, so Steam as in, like, the digital game store Steam. And that was... Is Gabe Newell the owner of Steam or CEO or something? I don't know. Of course, the crowbar, the magical crowbar thing is a Gordon Freeman reference because Half-Life, and yeah, anyway. A crowbar is a mysterious weapon commonly used by a free man. See? Freeman. I hope we find it by the lake. I don't want to fight some crazy mage trying to conquer the world because of it. Heh. It's actually in the frozen dungeon. Oh, the frozen dungeon. Yeah. Okay. I seem to recall that not exactly being the easiest of places. Although, I don't know. It's only saying level 20 there. Oh shoot. I need to stop at like some of the mining locations a bit more. Well, maybe I don't currently need to. Eventually there's a little exploit that you can take advantage of to literally just infinite farm grindstones. I mean, I think it ends up adding, you know, days to your playthrough, but otherwise it doesn't really, like, you don't lose money, you don't have to fight anything. So anyway, collect 1 crowbar on monster drops to complete the quest. Okay. Sure, we'll go there first, why not? And I gotta fight. And, okay, so these can't be put to sleep. That's an important thing to take note of. Volley. Okay. Kinda tough, but not the worst. Kinda strong, but not the worst. Alright. Weakening. I'm actually gonna just use weakening on the middle three here. Because I'm pretty sure one of these guys on the end is gonna die soon. If not both. Okay, there goes that one. Oh. And now some of my troops have been weakened. Well, that's unfortunate. Smite on this one. It's super effective. Yeah. And yet, despite being weakened, Volley's still able to do a surprising amount of damage. Or maybe... Does that count as magic? Because it is technically like a quote-unquote magic spell that he's using. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know why I thought this was a particular dungeon that it is definitely not. Alright, tell you what. You. Eat a carrot. Just because I don't feel like carrying it around. Okay. Continuing on to try and find the crowbar. Somehow, I get a feeling it's gonna end up being in the boss room. Which I'll need to get a key for that, I'm sure. Hey, healing time. I'll go there next. Another battle. Okay, whatever. 4, 7. There's one or two more this time around. I think it's 2 more. Which is going to be extra problematic. Okay, so... Oh, that's right, I can't make him fall asleep. Well, shoot. Tell you what. I'm going to do ward on this one. Okay. And immediately his bubble gets popped. Alright, gonna focus volley over here for the moment, I think. Weakening on these 3. Berserk. Still does 146 damage with a critical. Man. Alright, frontline. And now everybody in my party has been weakened. Except for the knight. So this ain't gonna do squat. Volley. Over there, jeez. Weakening. And now everybody in my party has been weakened. Fun. Yeah. Still not quite dead. Okay, volley. Alright, far left enemy is dead. Yay. I guess I'll just have him attack. Because why not? Alrighty, well, there's another enemy down. Which is... at least kind of a good thing. Because then I'm not getting attacked as much. Would have been a little bit better had it not been an enemy, like, directly in the middle of the group. But whatever. Again, enemy in the middle of the group. Why? Why do we keep hitting enemies in the middle of the group? have the hunter use volley, it's still only gonna hit 2 of them. So you know what? Heart shot. Hey. That did some damage. Oh, come on. Alright, whatever. Volley over here. Probably should have done heart shot. I don't know what I was thinking there. Defensive strike. Honestly, it seems like the witch on the whole is kinda the least useful in this situation. If they weren't, you know, whatever you call them to where they can't get status effects. Elite, that's what it is. If they weren't elite, then, you know, maybe the witch would be a little more useful because of, you know, making them hibernate and whatnot, or making them fall asleep using Nightmare, which is somewhat... It's like the damage dealing equivalent of hibernate, which is what one of my characters had in my first save file. I keep getting those words mixed up, but whatever. Alright, still looking for the crowbar. Oh, that doesn't lead to another thing. That was kind of dumb then. I'll go to this room and another fight. More ghosties? No, these guys. I seem to remember these guys being pretty tough. Ward, because why not? Volley. Ow. Alright, weakening. Defensive strike over here, I guess. Ward. Volley. Oh yeah. This is not going too poorly. Weakening again over here. Oof. Double oof. Jeez. What the heck? Frontline? Does that help at all? I sure hope it will. Ward, yet again. Volley. Okay, there's one down. Restoration. Yes, please. Stop. I'm not really convinced the frontline stuff works that well, to be quite honest with you. Because it's supposed to make them target that character more. But I'm not seeing too much evidence of that. Just saying. Defensive strike, not quite dead. Hiya, no. Hiya, okay. It's like I jinxed it by saying it wasn't going too poorly. Okay. So, if you're curious about any other things, not necessarily going on in my life, but things that I'm working on, I guess would be the best way to put it. Ouch. It's just... Anyway. If you're curious about other things I'm working on, I have already kind of decided on another gameplay series. You know, assuming life events don't get in the way and prevent me from being able to do something like that. So, long story short... Hey, found the key. Long story short, I'm kind of thinking I want to play through the Darksiders games. I was recently able to download number 3. Again, yay, games with gold. And with that being essentially the latest part of the story in that series, I was like, hey, now I have all of it except for the Origins game, which is a different kind of game, and it's supposed to be Origins, which I would assume means it's prior backstory stuff. But anyway, yeah, now that I have the main 3 numbered entries, I'm thinking I'll want to play through that series of games. 'Cause other than the times when I've gotten a little bit frustrated, I have otherwise enjoyed those games. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of cooking up next in terms of video stuff. And of course, you know, there's always the possibility of popping in some other kind of random topic-based videos, or, you know, whatever else comes to mind. Okay, Ward. Okay, there's another one down. Oh, I did also just remember that I, you know, have a video out that was kind of giving the impression I might be doing some, like, kind of almost, not really devotion-esque, but, like, Bible read-through with my own commentary-ish stuff. Like, I really don't know how else to describe that. But, you know, I'm still not 100% sure I'm gonna do that. I just know I'm planning on sometime fairly soon picking up another version of the Bible and reading through that. In case you haven't seen the other video I'm talking about, the general gist is, you know, I've read through the Bible cover to cover a couple of times before, and I'm thinking about picking up another version and reading through that once again, cover to cover. But I thought, hey, maybe I'll make some videos about it as I read through. Just kind of share with everybody what comes to my mind while I happen to be reading these certain verses or whatever. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. Each time I've read through the Bible so far, it's been a different version. Like, First time I read through it was, I think, NIV, which I had just because that was the kind of Bible I got at the end of my confirmation class. And then the next version of the Bible I got was NRSV, because that was what my college was essentially requiring, because, you know, Christian college with lots of Bible classes and stuff. I figured it would help to have everybody reading and looking at the same version. Alright, boss dude. Fun times. Let's see here. Ward, I guess. I don't know who I'm going to put it on just yet. Probably this guy, because he's generally one of the more crucial pieces to my strategy. So, yeah, anyway, NIV, NRSV, because since I had that version of the Bible, I was like, why not? Why not just read through it cover to cover? And then, after that, the next version I read through was ESV, because, you know, with moving here and the church I went to, they had a particular event where they handed out Bibles at the end of it, and those were ESV, so read through the Bible cover to cover with that version. So the next read through, I'm thinking is going to be NLT, New Living Translation. And that's mostly just, well, I mostly got that idea because I saw that version available as I was shopping at Walmart one day, back before my most recent job change, and I got, I saw that version on the shelf, and I bought it for, the house I was working in back at the school, so they could have, another Bible available for the house, because at that point we didn't really have enough Bibles for all the students, and I figured that was something that would be better if we could have one for each of the students whenever we're reading through stuff. Crowbar. +1 to all skills. We defeated the boss. Do you want to leave the dungeon? Yes. Which then pops me over to Yoga Village. Managed to find it. Very well. Let's deliver it quickly. It does make me wonder, though, if I could equip said crowbar. But anyway. So anyway, since I saw the NLT version in the store, that was the reason that version was coming to my mind as one to read through. I had gotten that one for the students in part because it wasn't all that expensive, but also because it seemed like a version that was maybe a little more readable for the students I was working with. Dealing with a fair number of international students, it seemed like it would be a better option for them than some of the other kind of wordier, not necessarily wordier, but some of the versions of the Bible have, more advanced vocabulary than others, I would say. Player doesn't have the minimum level required. Oh, right, you have to be level 50 for that. None of my characters are level 50. So if I did have a character at level 50, I could equip it? Hey, Nabe, here it is, your awesome crowbar. You indeed retrieved it. Thanks, adventurers. I shall lock this up and we'll talk again in a moment. Prepare for unforeseen consequences. Okay. What's the next story thing? Travel to mysterious portal. Since it's just travel to, I suppose I could do that. Although this would probably be a setup for another, like, hey, here's your next kind of plot point thing that you gotta do. Because that was really more of a fetch quest, all things considered. Alright, so you know what? In light of all that, I think I'm going to actually end this episode here. So yeah. As always, like and share if you enjoy the video and want others to see it. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell to get updates when I post new stuff. Make sure you're enabling those notifications. I don't know if that is inherently what the bell does automatically, or if you have to, like, click an option underneath that. I haven't used the bell in a while, so I kind of forget exactly how that works. But anyway, yeah. Get those notifications if you want to keep up with me posting new videos and whatnot. Anyway, look down in the description for info on my other social media pages, of course, and how to find those and follow and all that good stuff. And leave comments down below all that with any thoughts that you have. So yeah, that's it for now. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next episode. But until then, stay cool, people.